Welcome back, everybody, to Ultimate CNFT. Mike, aka Mr. Ultimate, here with you today. I am very honored and very excited to bring with you here the one and the only Mr. Farmer Nash. Nash, how you doing?
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for having me, and I'm happy to be here. Today's a great day. We just revealed the Goombles mint price, got some great feedback on that, and yeah, a lot to talk about.
Dude, that is awesome, man. I didn't even know that yet because I haven't checked in. I've had a very busy morning before we jumped on this interview right here. But once again, I've got to say, look, I'm a big fan of you personally. Long before you even decided to come in here and build this project, so I've known of you and your space and your influence and the way you see and understand things. So again, I'm very honored to have you here. So I didn't know that you had just released the mint price today. That's very exciting. It's always good to hear feedback from your community as well. So go ahead and tell us here, since this is already public information, what is the mint price on the Goombles?
Yeah, Goombles mint price is going to be $79 USD per Goomble. And then reminder, if you are Goom listed, it's a maximum of 3 Goombles. So yeah, I would say a pretty fair price. And it's going to be an ADA, right? So $79 in ADA come the mint. We're going to take a snapshot of the price shortly before. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We've been getting some pretty good feedback. And yeah, the community's ready. A lot of people are very excited, including myself.
Including myself as well. I will be minting, and I'm very excited about it. I'm going to be hitting the secondary as well. I think it's going to be a pretty crazy time as soon as how mints go live and everyone's trying to get what they're trying to get. I like the way that you've structured your project. I like the fact that you're saying you can mint 3. The price is in dollars, and it's going to adjust at the obviously the price of ADA. It's kind of all over the place. The macroeconomics of crypto itself definitely come into play with what we're doing and how we develop things around here. And so there's a lot of eyes on those developments. Is there a time frame that you guys are looking to go to mint, or is that something that you're just kind of holding off on now until down the road?
We're going to be late February.
Okay.
So we're almost there. We're halfway through February now, so we're coming up.
Okay, great. So for those who are calculating, what it's going to cost them in ADA to mint your project and everything, you're pretty close. I mean, we're hopefully not going to have too much fluctuation between the time of this, which is the 15th of February, and the end of it. Hopefully, you never know what's going to go on.
Yeah, you shouldn't have said that.
Myself in the foot. Well, I'm also minting a project myself too. I've got a VIP pass that's coming out that's attached to my YouTube channel and all the stuff that I'm going to be bringing down further down the road, developing here. This is my full-time job. This is my career. This is what I do. And I was going to mint at the end of February as well, but I actually pushed it off to March 8th because I got a few more things to release and develop. And now I'm really glad I did because I don't want to compete with Goombles. So It's all working out well, bro. But so let me just preface this interview by saying this, my friend. There are a lot of people who come to my channel. My channel is always growing. There's a lot of new people coming in here. Some people have no idea what an NFT is. A lot of people obviously do because I am UltimateCNFT. But let's approach your project, telling us everything you can about Goombles from the standpoint of somebody who has never heard of your project. Now, I know for those who are in the CNFT space, unless you're living under a rock, you know who Farmer Nash is. You know what Goombles are bringing and developing. Very excited. People are very excited about your project. I know this personally because in my Discord, you're one of the hottest topics out there. Everyone wants to get that Goom list, and it's really hard to get. And so people are very excited. So look, I'm just coming at you real from my perspective of the community that I've built and people who have been following me and supporting me for a very long time. So tell us from start to finish, basically, as from the perspective of somebody who doesn't know anything about your project, everything there is to know about Goombles.
Awesome. Yeah. So, guys, once again, I'm Farmer Nash, the founder of Goombles, and Goombles is going to be a video game, a community, a lifestyle brand, and a collection, right? So whether you have vast knowledge of NFTs, whether you know nothing about NFTs, if you love collecting, we're going to have some really cool kind of gamification, rarity, and even maybe some things that are unheard of right now to the community. So basically our collection will include 3 different body types. There's going to be round Goombles, tall Goombles, and then one we haven't even leaked yet. So we're going to have 10,000 collectibles. 5,000 of them will come out, this February. And the other 5,000 will be reserved for later. So there's going to be in total, right? So there's 10,000 Goombles total. There's going to be 6,000 of the round ones and only 3,000 tall. So if you're going to mint, you can mint up to 3. Then you're going to hope that you get, some tall ones. If it was me, I'd personally want to get one of each. That's the thing right there. So we are a collection. and the collection acts as your kind of all access pass to everything Goombles forever, right? So what do you get from an all access pass? First of all, we're creating a video game. It's going to be a 3D RTS tower defense game. And what that means is if you've ever played the game Balloons Tower Defense, where the monkeys throw darts at the red balloons, it's going to be like that, but way more modernized, 3D, playable on PC and mobile, and multiplayer. So it's basically going to be like a modern day kind of version of that. Very adaptable. It's going to be able to kind of keep up with the modern day games. And we're really catering towards a Web 2 audience. And what I mean by that is we're building, the game first. We're adding blockchain as kind of the icing on the cake. We just announced we're not going to have a token. We're not going to be play to earn. I've had a lot of experience playing those games, being involved in those games. I even had 100 players playing under it was called Nash's Farm. And so I know kind of the inner workings of all the tokenomics and all those things. And I'm taking everything that I learned from my experience as a, actual gamer, community member, all that, taking it into Goombles to make it the most sustainable it could possibly be. Next is a lifestyle brand. We're not going to say a lot about that. We just released actually something today that I can talk about, which was if you look very closely at our mint price, we did a little pie chart, and it's an actual pie because we're candy, dessert, all that. Right. You see that there was an allocation towards the Goombles indulgent clothing line, right? And I won't say a lot about it, but indulgent is going to be kind of like our first way to go into the physical world. Maybe we'll do something special. Maybe we won't. We're going to have to find out on that. So there's also going to be, there was a part that was actually 25% of our funding allocation, which is a lot. And it was the Goombles lifestyle brand, Fizzy Digital lifestyle brand. I'm not going to say anything about that right now. What I will say is that, if you're NFT collector, digital collectible fan, all that, your digital collectibles shouldn't just be in the internet realm. They should be physical as well. And I truly believe that. The last thing we're doing is we're making a community. And the important thing about the community is that using blockchain in our video game and our collectibles, all those things, it's never been easier to actually reward gamers, content creators, top players, everything like that. So we're literally going to leverage the blockchain to reward those who are early supporters, those things like that. So I'm not going to promise that the reward will be monetary. Maybe it'll be a collectible. Maybe it'll be something like that. But we're going to definitely leverage blockchain in a way that's a benefit instead of something that we have to worry about, like a lot of these games are doing with their tokens, token sinks, burning, all that. So we have a very unique spin on things, and we're excited to kind of show the world what we've been working on.
Look, I think a lot of people are excited about that as well. And a lot of this information I'm kind of, hearing for the first time as well. There's a lot to unpack there. So much of what you said, first of all, you're dropping hints left and right, which I think is great. Yeah. I think that captures people's attention and it holds them there. And that's one of the things as project developers and creators, we want to build a community. We want to engage with that community. We want to continue to further, develop the projects that we create, because that's the creative juices with which we come and bring in there. And it's almost like a project becomes your baby. And it becomes this thing that you want to take care of, and you want to watch it grow. You want to have all of these abilities for people to engage within that. But you're coming at the development of your project from the understanding of the things that you've engaged in already. And so you're taking what you've learned, you're taking what you like, you're taking what you don't like, and you're applying it to the project that you're building and you're creating. And I think that's what makes a lot of great projects. When people come in with a lot of passion and a lot of understanding, you combine those two, you deliver, you package it up, you deliver a product basically that you're like, I know how this works, and I know how to make it better, and I know how to make it engaging, and I know how to give somebody, a product that they're going to really enjoy. And that's what I'm hearing from this initial, understanding of your project, coming out here and getting the first chance to meet you face to face. And, tell me a little bit about your journey as basically like, okay, you've been in NFTs for a while. Obviously, you've been, on Twitter for a long time. You've done a lot of things and have a lot of understanding. At what point did you decide that, hey, I like this, and so I want to take, this kind of an idea, and I want to apply that, and I want to turn this into an NFT project that I think a lot of people are going to really enjoy. At what point did you go, it's go time, let's do this?
Yeah, definitely. And then real quick, just how you were talking about, I'm taking the things I don't like, or I'm taking the things I like, leaving the things I don't like. I actually joined a space a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and there was a bunch of founders, and they were making projects, games, and things, and I was like, hey, why do you have a token in your project? And they were getting offended. They're like, what do you mean? Why? And I was like, really, why do you need a token in your project? And they got mad and they were saying some stuff. Some of them might have had legit answers, and I was like, you know what? I'm really happy that we don't have a token because it's definitely not needed. People were saying for governance, first of all, no one actually, 2% of the community actually votes when you do governance and all those things. So that's kind of out the window. Plus, it's easily one Goomble equals one vote, right? That's even an easier way of doing it.
Sure.
Those are your actual early supporters, holders. And two, we don't have to worry about legal ramifications for not having a token. So we're doing things that, from my experience, have been good. We're leaving all the bad things out. Like, we don't like tokens because when we build a game, you have to worry about keeping that token valuable. That's not how a game should be. A game should be fun for Web2 players to come in, play the game, unlock collectibles, buy skins, watch ads for faster progress, buy gems like it's Clash of Clans, all that stuff. Like that's what the gamers want. They don't want to be worried about if their sword's going to lose like $2 in value.
That's a good approach. I mean, there's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah. So sorry, I got a little bit off track there.
No, that's quite all right. No, hey, I'll bring you right back in. So again, I think it comes down to you already really understanding these things. Obviously, if you're going to build a game, if you're going to do any of these tech related kind of things, you have to kind of know what you're doing, and you combine that with, that's the beautiful thing about NFTs. NFTs open the door, and again, it goes back to a lot of people coming into my channel and not even knowing what an NFT is, or having a total misconception of what they think an NFT is, because we know that technology is limitless. We know there's so much you can do with the project, so much you can do with the community, whether even if it's exclusivity with the people who are owning, like NFT ownership obviously gives you the ability to do a lot of things. So, but you already understood NFTs, you already understood gaming, and now you've combined what you know, and you've decided to come and bring a project to the Cardano ecosystem, which again, everyone is very, very excited about. At what point did you make that decision, going from just somebody who is more of a collector and understanding things, because there's a lot of opportunity from the collector standpoint, but I also think that having an understanding of the collector standpoint is what can make and help make a good project, because again, you're taking what you like and what you don't like, and like, I'm going to filter it all down to this amazing project. When did you get there?
So mind? 2021 is when I knew that I wanted to make a project, right? I was playing Axie Infinity, the world's largest largest Web3 game, multi-million, at one point was $1 billion market cap token company, all that. And there was a lot of things that they did very well. There was a lot of things they did very wrong. I played dozens of other NFT games, and they all had the same fate. What happened was all of the assets in the game, the NFTs, got tied to how much they could yield their token, right? People were like, yeah, this game's really fun. I'm having a good time. And then they pay like $100 for an NFT. It's now worth 45 cents. And they're like, yeah, this game sucks. It's really not that fun. I'm going to go play League or Valorant or something. So I'm like, okay, why don't we just focus on a game that people enjoy and build that instead of worrying about it. So 2021, I knew that, okay, I did some like market research. I was like, you know what? I think we can make a game. I think we can afford to do it. We can structure it, we can pitch it to investors, whatever. And I thought of this amazing idea because I'm Farmer Nash. So I thought, all right, we're going to call it Plant People. And so the very first, NFTs we were creating were like pots with plants coming out the heads. And then we were going to have a whole like plant theme and everything. And it just ended up not working out in 2021. But like the whole infrastructure and my idea, like my vision for what an NFT game, especially a mobile NFT game, should be, it's been there since late 2021, probably like October-ish, maybe November, if I remember correctly. It's been over a year now. But yeah, and Plant People ended up not working out. So we thought, all right, let's do some research. What's a good kind of like niche to fill, or what's a good genre? And we're like, all right, we know we have to do tower defense. It's not too technically demanding when it comes to development. It's a really fun genre. It's even kind of trendy right now for mobile games, so it's perfect. And so, we knew tower defense. And we're like, what if we do candy? So we did a bunch of research, all that, and we're like, all right, you know what? Candy it is. And then we thought of Goombles. You know, it's play on the word gumballs. It's a very round name. We have that like psychological trick because we have a lot of round characters.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's really how Goombles came to life. We're like, all right, a lot of these games keep messing up in this spot. So we're going to make a game and we're going to completely just remove that aspect. And we're going to focus on the things that other games are doing right. And that's what we're going to do.
I like that, man. So you've basically, you're taking this and you're streamlining it into something that is going to be engaging, fun, not overcomplicated, not tied to any sort of, having to earn a financial gain from it and all those things. And it sounds to me like, obviously, this has been working for a while within the mind, because it all starts in the mind and then it becomes a creation. And so, yeah, you've been thinking about this for a while. And that leads me to a couple of other questions. But before I get down that rabbit hole, I guess you could say, you said the word we a lot. You keep saying we. Who is we, if you don't mind telling me that?
Yeah, definitely. So we have an awesome team. Once again, I'm Nash, the founder. We have two very skilled game devs that are working on the game. They've been for quite some time now. We have XCS Labs. Some of you might know Omelette Dev, who's a part of the Cardano community. They are making the smart contracts, so all the smart work and the web development. We have Point Planet Studios, who's doing the art. And then lastly, we have Aulette, who's my girlfriend and who's also a junior artist on the project.
Okay.
She's helping out with like promo art and polishing up some traits and things.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I mean, obviously, to do what it is that you're doing, there has to be a team behind it. And, it's good to introduce the team to people as well, because you take people with their level of expertise and you allow them to do just what they do best. And then you have this amazing product. Now, I have a question for you that obviously I think you can answer, because I probably should know this, but I don't. It's impossible, I think, to know everything that's going on within, the space as it is. But so as of to date, is there a project in the Cardano space, let's just focus on strictly Cardano, that has released a game, a mobile app game that's playable and interactable? Has that happened yet?
Raggy Run has done it. And that was the first project that we kind of did like a little collab with. And basically you play Raggy Run and you were able to earn a Goom list to buy a Goomble. So yeah, Raggy Run is on mobile. I know Makasi is going to mobile, but I don't think they're ready quite yet.
Okay.
And the Raggy Run is literally the only one I can think of at this time. So there's one. There needs to be more. And, hopefully we'll be on there as soon as possible. It might be a while, but Raggy Run's the only one I know of as of right now.
Interesting. Yeah, I've never actually heard of them before. And I know that we are technologically...
What about Crypto Raggies? That's their name. Crypto Raggies.
Crypto Raggies. Okay, that might ring a bell. I'm trying to think right now. It's funny. Sometimes I have to take information in my brain and it has to go out so new stuff can come in, because there's always just stuff coming in. Yeah, I'm going to have to take a look at that after all. I'd love to have some links and everything to take a look at what's being developed. But look, mobile gaming is huge. And taking these things and bringing a product that is going to engage a lot of people, I think is going to push that realm. Like you said, there needs to be more of it. Maybe hopefully you guys can be the ones who launch that into the stratosphere, where everyone, says, hey, there's something to this. Let's enjoy this. And it just, what it does is it brings more engagement into the Cardano NFT space. I believe that we need to grow rapidly to be able to absorb all of the quality projects that are coming in, all of just the volume of projects that are coming in. And there's kind of like a little bit of an offset right now. There's a lot of good projects that are being built in the space. There's not enough people. There's not enough ADA pool to go around. We need growth. And my objective always on UltimateCNFT is to get more people to look at the Cardano space specifically, because I like NFTs too. I got my start in Ethereum, got my butt kicked in Ethereum, and I was like, I hate NFTs, and this was a long time ago. And now I'm so glad I circled back around, because I'm a Cardano maxi. I guess you could say ultimately in a crypto standpoint, I got involved in Cardano in 2017, bought some, held it, never really sold it. It sold a little bit at the high, but just kind of held it.
Nice.
I got into the crypto space probably about 3 to 4 months too late, and I would have probably been a multimillionaire by now because of the degen that I am. I would have aped into some pretty, heavy projects. But, from Cardano, I guess, leading into this transitioning, we know that we need to grow. I'm always trying to do that. Let me ask you, because you have background in Ethereum as well. You have an understanding of the NFT space. What made you choose Cardano, say, over something like Ethereum, where you could have easily made a splash there as well?
Yeah. So one of the main reasons was I went to CNFT which was the IRL event for anyone that doesn't know. And I had so many amazing connections there. I met so many people, all that. And it was really just like I already knew everyone who could help me out. I knew a lot of the key figures in the community, all that. The next reason is that when I think of Cardano, I think of a chain that really took the time to plan out the roadmap, their development, their kind of scholarly journals. The things they do are very well planned out. They're not really trying to be the first to market. They're trying to be I will say the last to market, but in a good way, if you know what I mean. And I really respected that. I listened to Charles in a lot of spaces, and I do believe in the scalability of Cardano. I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done regarding, like, I think ICANN is what's going to help us a lot. But yeah, that was another reason. And then a big reason is that I could be a top 50 project on ETH, or I can be a top 5 project, hopefully, on Cardano, right? And then if we, Goombles, or other people bring more eyes, bring more volume to the chain, then we can literally grow with Cardano. We can help the CNFT space grow. So it's kind of like a win-win, instead of just being like number 74 on ETH, if that makes sense. And yeah, I think when I came to Cardano, it really felt like family, and it felt like something that I didn't get when I was in Ethereum, if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. And that's why I wanted to ask you that question. And again, like I said, I've followed you on social media, on your Twitter account, and I'm like, this guy's right on. The opinions that I'm listening to, and the threads that are being involved in that. First of all, I'm glad that you're here.
Thank you.
And like you said, the opportunity to grow with something that is growing. That's what spoke to me when I decided to resurrect my channel. My YouTube channel went from a cryptocurrency guy to an NFT guy. Once I learned and understood NFTs outside of the bad experience that I had in Ethereum, which was really honestly my fault because I wasn't doing my own research. I was just taking shots that I shouldn't be taking, and then I came in here and I became more educated on the project that I was jumping into. And then I decided, hey, I love this again. It reignited my passion as a YouTuber to educate other people. And I see Cardano as something that is a very special space. And I'm actually going to bring up, if you don't mind, here in a few minutes, one of your recent tweets that really got me going. And I was like, this is exactly the kind of people whose mindset I love to see in the space, because that's what's going to help us grow. See, a project like Goombles, this is another reason I'm excited to get you on here as an interview. Your project has the potential to help this space grow in a big way, and even a bigger way now that I'm starting to understand your project more from a founder's perspective. I can see the vision. That's the one thing I have. I do not understand technicals as well as the people to the right or the left of me, but what I do have is vision. I understand where things are going, and I can see down the road and around the corners, and it's like the light at the end of the tunnel is very bright. And of course, again, coming back to macro perspectives, we are tied to cryptocurrency. We are tied to overall, movements in markets and all these things. And so those things are out of our hands. But what we can control are the projects that not only we invest in, because we can vote with our ADA, but also with what we're developing. And so Goombles, bringing something special to the space, the engagement with having a personality like yourself behind it is huge, because people invest in projects, bro. But you know what? People invest in people. And you're one of those people that I believe people are excited to invest in because of what you bring. And so that is a different aspect to an NFT project that not everybody has. We're starting to see the quality increase. And, I guess that leads into, what is it I'm trying to say is that you have an opportunity to do exactly what it is that you saw within the Cardano space, was to help it grow along with it. I'm sure that's very exciting for you. I can tell by the way you speak of it.
Yeah. So my main goal is not to grow a Cardano, if that makes sense, right? I want to make a great game and a great product, and then growing Cardano is going to be a byproduct of what we're building, if that makes sense. Because if my goal is to grow Cardano, then I'm going to just go to conferences and pay people $10 and give them some ADA to open up a wallet, and maybe they'll get onboarded that way, right? That's how I would grow.
Adventure.
Yeah, or I would just make educational content, right? Right now, our goal is let's make a fun ass game. Let's do things that have never been seen before. Let's have fun. Let's set our expectations correctly with no play to earn, and let's get actual gamers. We'll give them their first NFT, their digital collectible, without them actually knowing it, and then they'll head over to JPEG Store or whatever the marketplace will be at the time, and they'll pick up their first NFTs. They'll start to say, "Hey, wait, this is kind of fun," and then boom, they got onboarded. So that's how we're going to grow Cardano. That's not the number one goal, right? The number one goal is make a good product. There was something else I wanted to say about that, but it left my head. So here we are.
It happens to me all the time. We can always circle back to it. But look, I've said this before so many times on my channel. Everybody has a unique circle of influence. Some people have a huge circle of influence, and some people have a smaller one, but we all have a unique one. And so your approach is, I think it's perfect because it filters down to like, hey, I'm going to do what we can do best, and a natural byproduct of what we build and what we're bringing to the space, if we do it right and if we do it well, it's going to naturally bring more people in, and then those people have a good experience, and then those people go out and they tell their friends, they tell their family, they tell their coworkers. Before you know it, it's all growing because of the experience that they had. Coming from myself, again, back to Ethereum, not having a good experience in Ethereum, it gave me this bad taste in my mouth, even though it was completely, totally my own fault. Coming into Cardano changed everything for me because I already was, in love with what was being developed. It's like you said, they're doing it super slowly, but they're doing it very efficiently. The tortoise and the hare, and the whole Ethereum, Cardano relationship with Charles, and the way it came over and the way the story is developing. We are finally at a point now where we're finally starting to see Cardano develop all of these things that we've been hearing about for so many years. Tell me a little bit about what your take is as far as Cardano as growing itself as the platform, being able to implement all these things. We still have Hydra coming. We still have all these things coming on. I just did a video yesterday about some of the whale action, some of the activity with people. Finally, bigger eyes are starting to get on Cardano and see the potential with which we have. Tell me from your point of view, some of the potential that you see with Cardano.
Yeah. So my expertise is more on like the NFT side of things, but when it comes to actually Cardano like ADA token, I think it's important to not have like 3 staking pools control, more than 50% of the supply. So that's a really good thing. And I believe it was Icon, which was a language that you could use Plutus smart contracts. I'm sorry if I'm saying this wrong, but basically you can code on Cardano without knowing Plutus or forgot the other name of the language, but basically it makes it a lot easier for devs.
Is it Haskell?
Haskell, there you go.
Yeah.
And that's going to be huge, right? Because one of the main things is that why would I learn these programming languages if there's nothing else I can use them for, or I can get paid just to learn Solidity and code on like the other blockchains with Rust, anything, get paid more, and it's probably an easier learning curve too, right? Why would I come to Cardano? The only thing right now is to come to Cardano, you'd either 1, have to really like an NFT project on it, 2, believe in the vision of the decentralization, the way they've structured things, or 3, you have to become like a coder specifically because you want to build something early and maybe benefit off that. So the main thing is people come to the NFT space because they like the projects. People come to the actual ADA token because they believe in Charles's vision of like true decentralization, smart contracts, things like that. So I think there's a lot of things that could be done better on Cardano right now. But because the chain is, decentralized, it's taking a lot longer. Like example, I'd love to have a hexagon on Twitter for my Cardano NFTs, right? I really want my Goombles to be in a hexagon when they come out, but that's not ready yet, right? We need Wallet Connect. Potentially we need some type of partnership with Twitter. And being decentralized, a lot of the big entities don't really like us as much. So I think that's one kind of,
this is true.
That's kind of like stunting the growth a bit, but it's not a big deal, right? The whole point of Cardano is to like, it's different than Ethereum. It's different than Solana. And I respect that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And that's, as someone who labels themselves a Cardano maxi, and I'm even getting ready to put my own eyes on some other chains because I want to grow my influence as a YouTuber, but also, informational. I'm totally going to do that cross chain. I guess you can talk about it in the technical standpoint of, whether projects are going to be building something cross-chain. There's a lot of people who are starting to see the overall picture because we've got all these different NFT platforms, right? But we've got NFTs as a whole. And back to what we were saying earlier in this, this interview, talking about, understanding the technology that is at our fingertips here. And people like yourself, like myself, even though we're like this tiny little slice of the pie, we are pushing forward the development of what you can do with NFTs and the technology that will continue to be, unraveled and developed. And so, understanding what is going on other chains, like you mentioned Ethereum, you mentioned Solana. There's a lot of other good upcoming ones. Ergo's developing a bunch of things. Polygon, which I think has great technology, has their own NFT platform and everything. And everyone is nuanced. Everyone is unique. Again, I will always come back to being like Cardano is the go-to for me. I agree with you. There are things that can be done better, but the influence is starting to grow. I guess you could say mass adoption in a way is starting to grow, and it all happens on a micro level with projects like Goombles, with channels like UltimateCNFT, and the reaches that we have, the friendships that we make, the partnerships we make, the communities. I'm pulling up this right here because I got so excited about this. I'm just going to go ahead and read this right here. I'm quoting Mr. Farmer Nash right here. So Cardano is the best blockchain to launch an NFT project from a growth perspective. Number one, lots of room for community growth and market share to be taken. I completely agree with that because if you look at the metrics and the volume, Ethereum's got the billions, and Cardano is still just this little drop in the bucket. But there's so much to be said here, and there's so much room for growth, which is amazing from an investment standpoint and a development standpoint.
Yeah,
and,
wait, I want to touch on that real quick.
Please do.
So, and this is one thing where I said there's things I'd change. And this goes back to Cardano not paying, like the C Foundation, IOHK, whoever is making these decisions, them not paying, let's say like CoinDesk or the Block or these big things. I'm not sure how big the treasury is, right? I don't know, but if it's $1 million, just pay them. It's literally the easiest conversions ever. We can get so many people from Ethereum, Solana. Just start putting the logo, start putting the projects in their faces. Let them see it. Give them 2 months. They're going to see it like 40 times because Cardano's literally like a top 10 coin for like 10 years now. Okay, not 10 years, but like 5+ years now. Yeah. So just get it in front of their eyes, let them recognize in their subconscious mind, let them recognize the logo. They're going to say, you know what? I saw 10 Twitter posts about Cardano in the last week. I keep seeing them on CoinDesk. I keep seeing them here. Let me check out the ecosystem. And then one Bored Ape Yacht Club holder posts it. Hey, I just got my Cardano NFT. Boom, 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 boom. Huge domino effect. I genuinely believe that's worth it. I don't know how much it is to get on these major sites, but just because we're decentralized, I think doesn't mean we shouldn't be on them. I'm sure there's a lot of this process I don't know, but I genuinely think those are the easiest conversions we can get. Like, let's get Web3 on our side, and then we'll go branch out to Web2 after. Like, we have the easiest kind of low-hanging fruit here. And that's why I'm like, if we do get those things, then boom, that's easy growth, because it's going to be a lot harder to convince Web2 people to come to Cardano than it is the people that are already in Web3 buying NFTs and all that.
I completely agree. And I honestly hope that some of the right people see these kinds of things that we're talking about here openly and freely here, because you're absolutely right. It doesn't take much to get that sort of engagement. And believe me, I don't know what the funds are either, but I know it's funded enough to be able to do these kinds of things. And really, it's about getting the eyes, right? It's about getting the attention. It's about getting the people to look from whatever they're focused on over here to looking at what's going on right in front of them. And before you know it, it spreads like wildfire. You made a really good point. One Bored Ape Yacht Club owner, who's obviously got the clout of being a BAYC owner, can come in and be like, hey, check this out. Look, the power of social media, the power of Twitter, the power of, even a smaller YouTube channel, whatever it may be. You never know who you're going to reach out there. And that circles back again to, you building your project, Goombles, on Cardano, and having this ability to develop something with the mindset of being like, hey, this is fun, this is engaging. The byproduct is we're helping it grow, we're going along with it. There is so much room for growth, in the Cardano ecosystem. And you and I both absolutely can see that. It's right in front of our faces. It's just a matter of time, I believe, before it catches fire. Cardano is a top 5 or top 8. It's been in the top 5 for a long time.
Yeah, long time. Especially if you don't count stables. It's like literally top 5, top 6 for quite some time.
And I don't count stables. You know, my background is in crypto. I used to be a crypto YouTuber. I'm a crypto guy, you know, through and through. But stable coins, that's a whole different kind of volume that we're talking about here. But we're talking about, you know, platforms that are building things like an NFT. You know, we got Web3, we got Web2, all that stuff going on. It's, you know, being in the top 10 is no easy feat, and to stay there, to have longevity. There are so many haters. Oh, the whole ghost chain, that stuff is so far gone now, is so far removed. You cannot sit there and say that any longer. And so now I think that, and everybody that I talk to, we know when the bull run circles back around, we know Cardano is going to be a huge benefactor of the macroeconomics as it circles back.
Yeah, I really believe, and it's going to be a very important time, right? Like, assuming, you know, we do get another bull run, because crypto's never really seen a down economy before. Assuming we do get one, right, which I think we all will, with the Bitcoin halving, just the way things work, then I think it's going to be a really pivotal time for Cardano, because if a lot of the features aren't ready, if we're not like go to market, all that stuff, a lot of the blockchains are. And once that euphoria stage kicks in, they're going to be looking at, hey, we have the Matic team reaching, you know, if I'm a big Web2 company, Matic team and Solana have already reached out to me, right? Why would I come to Cardano? So, you know, we got to be ready, because the bull run's going to be, it's going to be cool. It's going to be fun. We'll all maybe make some money, but it's going to be a very pivotal time, because we don't want to fall farther behind when it comes to like actual adoption, if that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense, because that's what it takes to further the growth of, you know, whatever it may be, is having the people being able to understand and engage in it and see what's going on. And there's a lot of competition out there. Competition's healthy, whether it's an NFT, you know, development, or whether it's a blockchain development, whatever it may be. It pushes further and development for technology. And I completely agree with you. There's so much that needs to be done, but because I think we've finally gotten to the point where we're at now, I mean, I have high hopes for, you know, what is being built. We all know that Charles is a genius. We all know that he has, you know, a lot of plans in place and a lot of, you know, connections. He's growing. Like, not everybody likes the guy, but you know, he definitely, there's a lot going on up in that mind of his there. And so I want to bring up this subject as well, because this is the second part of your tweet that I found fascinating, and I resonate with. Now, founders are held to a slightly higher standard than other chains, which is a good thing for legitimate business projects. Elaborate on that in your own words, if you could, because I completely agree, and I have my own thoughts as well.
Yeah, so when you go to Ethereum, it's more about how much hype can you deliver. And here's the thing: it's not just Ethereum, right? This is every chain, including Cardano. How much hype can you deliver? How much am I going to make off this mint? How many likes, how many retweets, which influencers are telling me about this, blah, 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 right? When you come to Cardano, it's pretty much the same, but it's a bit different. And when I would say the investor base is a bit, I'll say more mature, like that's just the only way of putting it here, as in they want to see a business plan. ETH, you can fly with no business plan. You could say, hey, we're this cool project. We got dope art. Boom, mint out, good price, $100 mint, easy. Cardano, if you want to charge $100, you're going to have to show them a 49-page report with market data and all this stuff, right? So for me, right, that's better, because if I'm going to be building a legitimate IP, legitimate brand, legitimate video game, Web2 revenue generating company, hold me to higher standards if I'm a founder, because the only thing that can come out of that is I get tested, I get challenged more, and we become a better brand. So I really think that's important. If you're trying to make a legitimate project, then you need to hear opposite opinions, opposite views, things like that. And I think it's important, like, to be challenged by the community, other projects, things like that, or else no innovation will happen.
I 100% agree. And, you know, I have a lot to say about that myself, because I believe the same thing. Number one, I think we do have a higher standard in Cardano. I know that even from a doxing standpoint, I kind of have a saying like, no dox, no dice. I don't want to work with anyone who's not doxing Cardano. I feel like I owe it to the people who watch my content to bring them at least some sort of level of, accountability, even though it's not perfect. And those are things that I myself want to work on. I've got a lot of plans in that regard. But I see us as having wiser investors. I see us as people who build communities, engage in their communities. Look, you're always going to have, you know, your flipper mentality. There's a lot of opportunity to make money in NFTs, no matter what platform you're on. But the people, I believe, that involve themselves in a project, who want to be a part of the community, who want to grow with the project and be more of holders and engagers rather than just flippers, that creates smarter investing. That creates a lot of, you know, doing your own research. Like you said, you can't just come in here with the business plan like, this is what we're going to do. You got to show people what you're doing. And that's smart, because it does make you better. It does challenge you. There are two kinds of people in the world, Farmer Nash. There are people who don't like to be challenged because they crumble under the pressure. And there's people who accept the challenge and say, make me better, make me stronger, so I can, you know, do better at whatever it is that in life that I'm doing. And so yeah. I'm kind of hoping that there's a way to teach other people in other NFT, you know, platforms and circles that, you know what, it's okay to ask and for even to demand a higher standard, because we don't want anyone coming into the NFT space, no matter which platform you're on, and getting scammed or getting rug pulled or having this bad experience, because it comes back to that circle of influence. You're going to go out there and you're going to say, hey, you know what? I had a bad experience. Before you know it, spreads like wildfire. We want to grow everything together. I feel like there's the huge macro, and then there's the micro within that. And, you know, it's having people like yourself who are coming out here on Twitter. You've got a great following out there. By the way, links to everything for everybody that you need to know, for those of you who don't know yet, will be in the description box below. This is the kind of project, in my personal opinion, you can get behind, because you can see and you can hear for yourself what's being developed and the mentality with which is being brought here, you know, to you guys. I love the fact that you go on there and you talk about these things. You're not afraid to share, you know, your opinions and how you really feel, without being abrasive and without being, you know, negative, but just really opening up topics of discussion. And not everyone's got the, I guess you could say, balls to do that. And so that's why I've become a fan of you, and the things that you have to say matter, because now you're just not a personality. You're also a creator of a project. You're bringing the two together and you're making something for people to engage in. And it's a very special thing. You got to be pretty excited at this point. I mean, you're almost minting. You're minting at the end of the month here.
I'm like a bit anxious. I'm a bit excited. I'm a bit happy. You know, I'm a little bit of everything, but this has been in the works. Like I mentioned, Plant People and then to Goombles, it has been around. And by the way, guys, Plant People never actually launched. It was just a concept made by me, which we later converted to Goombles. I want to make that clear right now. We've never launched an NFT, but yeah, it's been in my mind for so long. And I genuinely think that the best thing we have going for us right now is that the entire Goombles community knows that our game will not be a play to earn game. They are aware of that, and they are still down, and they're still riding with us. And that's the best thing, because everyone's in crypto to make money, as much as we hate to admit it. And I'm not going to say that, like, you know, that won't happen. I'm not going to say it will happen. But the fact that they know the game's not going to be play to earn, and they're going to be rewarded in other more creative and different ways that maybe they haven't seen before, that is what makes me very bullish on us. And that's the thing I'm most excited for, that we're literally setting the precedence. Like, we took that risk early on and showed people, and they're still riding with us. And I can't wait. Like, I'm literally so excited.
Dude, I'm excited for you, man. I mean, I can feel it. You have a passion for what you're doing, and that's awesome, and that shows. And actually, you know, from my own standpoint, because I love what I do, I can do it 12 hours a day, and I can do it all the time, and I can do it at night, and I can do it. And it's like, as long as my wife gives me that hall pass, which she does, she's been great and very supportive. You know, I love it, man. But I work my butt off, dude. And it's because I love it and I enjoy it. Being a YouTuber and developing a project at the same time is no easy feat. But, you know, even just one or the other is a full-time job. I feel like sometimes I have two full-time jobs, but gosh dang it, I love to see what's happening. I love to see, you know, someone like yourself. I love the fact that you, first of all, you're fully transparent. You're not trying to pull the wool over someone's eyes and get this investment and be like, oh, we know, we'll figure it out. You're saying, hey, this is what we are. This is what we aren't. Take it or leave it. And when you weed out the people who are just, you know, there for, you know, because of whether it's just purely hype or whether it's purely, you know, exposure, you know, and they're just here to flip and make a bunch of money, then it's like, you can have that opportunity as well. But if you want to be a part of what we're building, let me tell you what you're getting, what you're not getting. But you're also kind of hinting that there's a little bit of I guess, leeway that you're giving yourself in case, hey, I might come up with an idea later, or I might find out and discover something that I'm not even thinking about right now that's going to pop up, and it's like I can.
There's actually a thing that happened. Shout out to Avatar Nick, CIP68, 68.
Yes,
for anyone that doesn't know what that is, basically it's think of like NFTs, digital collectibles, whatever you want to call them. But instead they have like XP, you can upgrade them, you could change the metadata, all that stuff. So yeah, that literally happened. And I was ready to switch Goombles to that, but no big marketplace supports it. So we'd basically be shooting ourselves in the foot. It's just not practical. But yeah, things always pop up, and we know what our goal is. We know the steps to get there. But yeah, there might even be some like better ways of doing things and all that down the road. So pivoting is definitely important for us, but like you got to keep that end goal in mind.
100%. Like you said, you got that end goal in mind, and you got the journey that gets you from where you started to where you're going to where you want to, ultimately end up. Obviously, when you build a project like Goombles, you're not here for a year, 2 years, 3 years. You're building something that's like it's going to be here. It's going to be part of this ecosystem, part of NFTs, part of the language on people's mouths. Like you said, you're aiming to be a top 5 project. There's absolutely no reason why you can't be. And that takes time to develop, takes time to get there, to build. And so once you build these things and you reach this level of success, you obviously want to further that success. So being malleable, being able to be like, hey, I know that there's things coming right now. Imagine 2-3 years from now, bro. We don't even know, like you brought up the SIP 168. Forgive me for
yeah, whatever,
missing that. But yeah, that's a good point, bro. Like we don't even know what's coming around the corner, and the ability to adapt to the technology that's being built. And like you said, Avatar Nick, I was on that space listening to him talking, to the excitement, and like you said, even bringing up the fact that the marketplaces aren't ready to support that, but they will
it's
be,
crazy, because
there's a need and there's a desire for that. I got excited as somebody who's building a project for the long term in Cardano that has plans to adjust to all these things as well. I'm like, I'm still several months away from having my main project release. Maybe I should change over to that. Like you said, the XP, the ability to update and upgrade an NFT is going to be the next level thing that we all want to be a part of. And I love the fact that you're pretty much black and white, dude. I just don't see any gray area with Farmer Nash, with what you're building, with your personality, with who you are, with the team that maybe you're developing. It must be nice to be able to work with your girlfriend as well. That's pretty cool that you guys are involved in that level. And how does that relationship work? How do you guys work when together when it comes to that?
Yeah, it's a bit interesting. It's hard to balance, like, are we chilling? Are we making art? What are we doing?
Working. Yeah. What are we doing tonight, baby?
Am I on a Twitter space when we're supposed to be hanging out? That type of stuff. But we always make it work. I think we're both like, Gen Zers, but we've kind of realized like, there's a lot of weird stuff going on in our generation when it comes to relationships. So like, we both kind of are on the same page. And it makes things like a lot easier because she understands NFTs, the potential, the vision, all those things. And I literally turned her into a bit of a degen myself, right? I showed her the cute projects back in the day, like 2 years ago, and she got addicted to NFTs. So we got her. Dude,
it's almost like circling back to what we were talking about earlier, that level of influence, bro, that sphere of influence grows, and you get that going. I'm in a very much different position. My wife is actually a lot younger than me. She's probably closer to your generation than my own generation. She's awesome. She does not get this, does not understand technology, does not understand NFTs. I'm always trying to educate her where I can. She's great. She tries to. She sees the passion with which I work, and she enjoys that. But she does know nothing about these kinds of things.
No, what you got to do, you got to introduce her to some. So let's say she likes fashion, right? Go on ETH. There's like 10 high fashion, low fashion. There's so many different fashion projects. Show her that. Show her like the benefits of being a holder. Find a good one. All that. Boom. If she likes working out, show her a project where, it's a gym work accountability NFT project. It's literally like, think of it. You can't just tell like your spouse, and this is for everyone listening, not just you. If you're trying to get, your girl, or maybe you're trying to get your significant other into NFTs, you literally have to like show them something they'll like. Don't just show them, your collection of monkeys and then expect them to understand or like it. You got to introduce them to something that they like. And then once they're on board, you guys are both ruined forever. Your lives are ruined forever, right? You're forever
this is words of wisdom, you guys.
Yes.
This is words of wisdom from this man right here. But you know what? Look, I think anyone who's been around long enough and has done, their research and has had a decently good experience with an NFT project, you can get very tied in with the community. You can get very tied in with your PFP. Some of us, we're going to hold, some of us have our forever NFTs, but I think at this point, we all love what we do or we wouldn't do it. We're supposed to have fun here. And I was going to say, to be quite honest with you, I'm very curious to see how your project develops. I love the fact that you said it's going to take a while to get to, this product that you're wanting to release, but that's something I can introduce my woman to. Hey, baby, check out this project. It's cute. The art is great. I think it's very attractive to the eye. I think the tech behind it and what you're building kind of ties in with everything that, I think the space needs right now. So I'm very thankful again to see you developing right here in Cardano. And this could be the first one. You never know. I also want to integrate her as to being part of my interview process or my development process with the project that I'm doing. So the sky's the limit, man. There are 8 billion people on this planet, and only a very small percentage of them are even into this whole Web3 stuff that we're doing. But we can all help grow that together. And, I suppose, is there anything we missed that we didn't get to talk about specifically about Goombles, the development, all the things that are coming out here? We know that you're targeting towards the end of this month. We now know the mint price, which is great.
Yeah, awesome.
I know that you've
excited.
given me a couple of, I'm excited for you. And I thank you that you've given me a couple of Goombles to give out. I know they're hard to get. My community is very excited about that as well. So there's going to be a lot of people tuning in to watch this interview. I think it was perfectly timed. I'm very honored to have you here, especially at the place where you're about to bring this amazing project to light. But what did we miss, bro? Anything that I can't even think of?
We really covered everything. I would say just a little bit of alpha for anyone who is Goom listed or would like to be, or maybe wants to buy on secondary. So my game plan going into mint, right? I have a Goom list. I'll be minting the project. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get, I'll get more, of course, but at minimum, I'm going to try to get one round body and one tall body. And that's going to set me up for the Goombles ecosystem if you have one of each. So the round body is more common. The tall one is a bit rare. But if you have 2 of those, you'll be set up, right? And the reason why you can mint 3 Goombles is because one of our goals for this year is we want to have 3,000. We really want to have 3,000 unique holders, right? So hold your tall Goomble, hold your round Goomble, sell the 3rd one, right? Cool. We just expanded our community. You just flipped, whatever. And I'm probably the first founder ever that's going to come up here and say, hey, sell your NFTs in my project. But a really key metric for us is we want to have 3,000 unique holders. So my game plan is I'm going to have a lot of Goombles. I'll say that right now. But, if I wasn't the founder, I would just have one tall, one round, and then I would collect a few more that I personally like, whether it's tall and round. And then, I'll be set for everything in the Goombles ecosystem.
I love it. I appreciate that kind of information because that's important. Being fully transparent, and that brings up a subject of should founders invest in their own projects or not? Look, for me, it's unquestionably yes. If you believe in what you're doing, if you enjoy what you're doing, why would you not? A perfect example. One of my favorite projects, a KWYC. Detox,
oh, yeah.
he holds a bunch of those. I think I actually have more than him. I think I got you beat, bro.
Got him.
Yeah, I got him. I got to buy a few. I'm keeping an eye on things here. We're on the blockchain. Everything's transparent here.
Yeah, if he buys some, you're gonna have to all right, hold on, let me get a few more. So I have more than him.
And I do it every time. But I think it's great for people to come out here who are building and developing and support their own projects because look, at the end of the day, you're a fan of what you're doing. If you're not a fan of what you're doing, if you don't believe in what you're doing, I don't believe in what you're doing, and I'm not going to be a holder. That's my personal take on UltimateCNFT, and I love the fact that full transparency is just in view for everyone to see, and it's great. And I appreciate the alpha. I will take note of that myself because, like I said, I am minting this project. I will be getting secondary. It's good to know that. I know you did kind of hint that there's a 3rd one that you can't talk about yet, but
yeah.
I'm excited to hear about that as well. When is that information going to come out?
It will be out. It'll be out before the game playable demo for sure.
Okay, good.
It'll be out before then. We'll mint the other half before anyone's playing the game. We'll mint the other half.
All right. I love that you took a 10,000 mint and split it up into 2. There's been a lot of success already with people who have done those kinds of things along the way. Look,
you know why we did that?
Please tell me.
Yeah. So the reason why we did that is because I'm pretty sure with our current hype levels, we could have sold out the 10K, especially following Alley Cats. We definitely could have sold out the 10K based off their mint. But the reason is we're charging $79 USD for these, right? Chances are that's not going to be enough to develop everything we want. It'll be enough to develop the game since we're making a mobile game. It's an indie game. We're not going to need Unreal Engine 5, crazy graphics, extremely crazy things. We don't need that. Networking will be expensive, but yeah, we'll be okay on that. But when the other 25% of the roadmap comes out, or the white paper comes out, you'll see. Hold on, I said that completely wrong. Today we released the funding allocation when we released our price, and there was one that was blank. It said unwrapping. When that one is finally out, you'll see why we're going to need the extra, basically, funding. So if we can charge $79 for this half of the project, we give regular updates. We show people we're working. We maintain eyes. We maintain excitement, right? Maybe on the other half, we can charge a little bit more. So it was very strategic. It's like, all right, this will be our test run, guys. Let us show you we're legit, and then maybe we'll get a bit more for the next half of the mint. And that's really the plan. And we're telling people straight up. So we're not going to tell you how to get them yet. The only way to get to the second part of the mint is to have a round and a tall Goomble. We've already said that. But for the other remaining supply, we're not going to tell you yet. So you gotta be on the lookout.
It's like the perfect mix of the information you need and the information you want and the information that you can't wait to find more out about. I think everything you've done from top to bottom has been very, very stellarly implemented and designed and given to the community. And obviously it's working because the community supports you. This is extremely, people are excited about this mint. And I know you talked a little bit about, having those nerves. Everybody has them. From myself to you, I have an assurance because I also run a community. I have a channel here. I have a Discord. I have a lot of people who I talk to on a daily basis, and we're excited about what you're bringing, man. So
awesome.
The way it's structured, the way, you're going to drive engagement. I'm personally very excited about that. I appreciate you being here on UltimateCNFT. I appreciate your transparency. I appreciate, just everything that we've gotten a chance to talk to about here today. Goombles, you guys, again, links to everything you need to know. For those of you who don't yet, it's in the description box below. Farmer Nash, I appreciate you being here, man. Thank you so much. I look forward to continuing having a relationship with you. In fact, I'd like to invite you to my Discord as well. I've got a list of all the founders I work with. I have a different kind of approach to things because I'm a YouTuber first before I'm a project developer. But relationships are important, and honored to have you here, bro. Thank you so much for being here. Any parting words before we cut this thread?
Awesome. Yeah. And thank you very, very much for having me. It was a very positive space, a lot of good questions, a lot of good talks, all that. And yeah, I just want to say, everyone, thank you for all your support. If you want to support and you don't want to buy Goomble, just go to the link, follow Goombles, follow Farmer Nash. And yeah, that would mean a lot to me. I've been writing threads on NFT gaming. I've been changing people's minds about NFT gaming. I've been showing people, what they don't want to hear, but instead what they should hear for like 2 to 3 years now. And, it's finally starting to resonate with some of them. So who knows? Maybe I'll get you too. And thank you very much for everyone for tuning in. Like the damn video too.
Yes, sir. Drop those likes, drop that subscription. Hey, much respect for the way you handle yourselves and giving us what we need, not what we want to hear. And that's why I wanted to have you on here, brother. Big time respect. Hey, peace and love, and God bless.